AM 560. The Answer.
You're sick, Squirrel. You're sick. And you're going to get us in trouble. You really are. All right. I'll let you play the co-pilots. There were 3 other bus drivers that could have driven the bus that day for You Take Your Chances Bus Company.
They are Captain Sum Ting Wong, Wee Tu Lo, Ho Lee Fook, and Bang Ding Ao. The NTSB has confirmed these are the names of the pilots on board Flight 214 when it crashed.
And the alternative bus drivers for You Take Your Chances bus fares. I buy a ticket, I dare you. I hope they sue that company in complete competence. You realize how many people this guy potentially killed? They're still getting numbers. He ran right into them, never hit the brake, you moron!
Is a violation of federal law. He'll have his first court appearance after he's released from the hospital.
None of this should have happened. If only we would have stood on some principle and audit the fracking vote. It was obvious there weren't that many morons. Outside of these Democrat areas, this country's relatively smart. But in these Democrat dungholes, they'll vote for practically anybody.
The DNC and Perkins Coie law firm and everyone aligned on the left decided to file briefs in our case, and the court let them do that. And they argued against our complaint that alleges all the election fraud and multiple federal constitutional claims that arise from that invalidate.
But they had their grift. Their grift was the simpleton scumbags, the Somalians, the pirates, and all the phony services, and that's Maine, Ohio, California, with the other cult of morons, protected status idiots that all are multi-millionaires. But the real grift, Squirrel, the real grift was that eco-Nazi bulldog.
Now this, the United Nations has withdrawn their worst-case conclusion on climate. Now, they had been thinking that temperatures would go up by 8 degrees Fahrenheit by the end of this century, and that the polar ice caps would melt completely. Daniel Turner is with us this morning. I thought that UN declaration to abandon that forecast, I thought that was a very big deal for climate science.
It really was.
There is no climate science. There's graft. There's paid-for speculation, fear-mongering. And the whole time, it was like the outcome of the 2020 election. They refused to show us the evidence.
Among the most egregious offenses was the refusal to share the data upon which the computer models of projected future climate change were based. It's critically important for 2 reasons. One, the research is publicly funded, and therefore the results of that research should be automatically open sourced. And 2, the models are serving as the basis for the implementation of policy proposals, often with draconian consequences for society.
How much of that exists in these Democrat dunghole areas like Illinois? How much, and not just taxes, in subsidies and fraud, financial crime, are Illinoisans paying in the so-called budget? $42.9 billion comes from the federal government. Illinois should be thrown into receivership. It's bankrupt. And the political crooks that pretend to represent you, they only pay themselves.
In a professional sports arena.
This is similar to what's happened in Indiana, a framework only. The Illinois House did not take up the Senate changes. Here's what the Bears said just before 5 o'clock this morning. Quote, "We will finalize our evaluation of both Arlington Heights and Hammond and remain on the late spring, early summer timeline that we previously communicated."
Now, one of the listeners who I love to death, and they comment in the comment section on social media, Facebook, and the rest of it. She said, I like sports. Listen, this is not liking sports. They're taking advantage of your affection. They're raping the entire communities and state financially in the name of this company that a few can afford to even go and see it. I don't think you can see a bigger financial distraction and fraud of why all of these areas steal the money with impunity. And they get away with it. There seems to be no scandal big enough to take down the reality of how much money is being stolen in all Democrat areas.
Is this the end of Gretchen Whitmer? We have a political earthquake happening in Michigan as Governor Gretchen Whitmer is facing the biggest scandal of her political career. It's been revealed that her office helped facilitate a $20 million taxpayer grant to one of her best friends and political donors, Faye Baydoun, who...
You know what that's called in Illinois? Monday! Every day they steal $20 million.